Alright, welcome back. Okay, so for this update, we're taking on Cecil's chapter. Alright, I like Cecil. Cecil's cool. Voiced by Yuri Lowenthal. Yeah, I actually finished Final Fantasy IV to completion. Then again, it was the DS remake of it, with all the really good 3D models, the voice acting. It's really good. I highly recommend picking it up if you're curious with the Final Fantasy series. I really dig Final Fantasy IV. It has a bunch of really cool characters. Not just Kain, but also Cecil, Rydia, Rosa, Yang, and Edge. That's such a weird ninja name. Just Edge. Yeah, whatever. Edge is cool. Yeah, here he is. I may have already said this in a previous recording, but the Dark Knight class is one of my all-time favorite jobs in Final Fantasy, with Samurai close behind. I like characters who have a proficiency with swords.
To find the crystal. The world isn't waiting for me to.
You seem to be in a pensive mood, Cecil.
Oh my god, Golbez just sounds so frickin' smooth.
In the fog of doubt and reverie, and you will never reach the crystal. It will forever remain but a dream.
I lose my way because it is a dream.
Now see, the cool thing about Cecil's chapter is, he's actually civil with his villain. And honestly, Golbez is probably one of the nicest members of Team Chaos.
The true brilliance,
and he's also one of the coolest. I like Golbez.
Casting about your gaze will not reveal a single mote of its light.
See, he's not being a dick to Cecil. In fact, he's trying to help him.
Cecil,
I like that.
what are you doing?
If you want to know the secret of the crystal, follow my shadow.
Bye, Golbez. So wait, can every member of Team Chaos just teleport? Why can't the Warriors of Cosmos do that? I get he's a wizard, but still. Like Sephiroth did it too.
He's with the enemy. What did he say to you?
He said he knows the secret of the crystal.
He seems like he would. Golbez is pretty smart.
Cecil, this is hard for me to say, but lower your guard, and the darkness may lead you to a trap.
He's a fucking Dark Knight, Furion. I think he's okay.
What's going on over there? Let's go. Tidus is getting impatient.
Oh, heaven forbid Tidus get impatient.
I don't want to see my friend walk into danger.
What should I do?
As is natural with many Yuri Lowenthal characters, Cecil is very introspective. He has a lot of self-doubt. He's very uncertain about what path he should go down.
Of light. Within the night Cecil dwells two opposite powers. One who values the bonds of friendship. Cecil has been journeying together with Tidus.
God help him.
But he has yet to find a clue to the crystal. As the seeds of misgiving take root in his heart, a shadow approaches.
You know, I gotta say, with as many times as they bring up darkness in Cecil's chapter, which, spoiler alert, is a lot, you gotta think, why hasn't Cecil been a character in Kingdom Hearts yet? Like, he's the perfect candidate for that game. Like, you want a Final Fantasy representative? Put Cecil in. He uses both light and darkness. That's like the whole, major themes of fucking Kingdom Hearts. I'd like it. Cecil's cool. Anyway, as the narrator already said, Cecil has the powers of both a Dark Knight and a Paladin, just like from Final Fantasy IV. All of his ground attacks are Dark Knight attacks. All of his aerial attacks, Paladin. And he switches between them during combat. It's really cool. Now, here's a bit of a weird thing I noticed with Cecil. His main weapon is a spear. He doesn't use his sword until he goes into EX mode, which is his main weapon. You know, the Paladin sword and the Dark Knight sword. Those are the main weapons that he uses in his respective game. Now, I'm pretty sure they made him use a lance, or I guess that's a staff, or whatever it is. I'm going to call it a lance because it has like a sharp edge to the end of it. I'm pretty sure the reason they gave him a lance was to reference Cain, because Cain was not in the original Dissidia. But they did want to put Cain in there, but they just couldn't for some reason or another. So they just gave Cecil his lance. Well, now Cain's in this one, so I'm curious as to why they don't just let him use his sword constantly, as opposed to only when he's in EX mode. Like, they adjusted some characters for the new game. Like, they adjusted a lot of Bartz's techniques, considering he's a mimic. So, I mean, why couldn't they just use the same model from Cecil's EX mode? I don't know. Maybe it would have made it less special or something like that. I'm not sure. Now, the weird thing is, in the arcade version of Dissidia, Cecil still uses a lance. Like, but they already have Cain in that game. So why don't they just make Cecil use a sword constantly? Like, again, I bring up Bartz, but they readjusted Bartz's combat style to where now he's not really a mimic, but he's a job master. Which, we'll get into that later on when we tackle on Bartz's chapter.
I am pained as well.
Oh no, Golbez, don't work with the Emperor. No! The Emperor's evil! That guy's a dick! Now, oddly enough, Cecil's model for the world map is his Dark Knight form. Like, he never once goes Paladin. In fact, a lot of the story is just gonna be him in Dark Knight gear. Like, that's his whole thing, that he switches between Paladin and Dark Knight, like, constantly. I don't know, I guess it's easier for lip sync if your character's just constantly wearing a helmet. Like, Golbez, Garland, X-Death, all those guys, that would have been easy for lip sync. No problem. Still have to get my hit in on Titus. Or Titus, whatever. I don't like Titus, okay? I don't care how you pronounce his name. I don't like him. There are way cooler characters from Final Fantasy X. And clearly it's not Yuna, as we already learned from her chapter. I am still pissed off about that. And I'm probably gonna get pissed off again when we get to Titus's chapter. My apologies. So anyway, Final Fantasy IV. Yeah, that game's fun. Oddly enough, I did not play that many Final Fantasy games growing up. Like, I never played Final Fantasy VII when it first came out, because I was too young to actually appreciate it. So I never played 6 or any of the previous ones before that. I think the first Final Fantasy game I ever actively touched was actually 10. And it was very briefly. Like, I think I got Auron on my team, and then I stopped. And that was about it. Until I, beat the remastered edition. Then I played 12, and I enjoyed 12. I think 12 was actually the first Final Fantasy game I ever actually beat. How weird is that? Like, that's a weird one to just pick up and decide, yeah, this one I'm gonna finish. The one that plays like a frickin' MMO. Let's see. Unfortunately, I played 13 all the way through. and its sequel. But not Lightning Returns. Fuck that game. Yeah, I actually played Final Fantasy 3 and 4 on the DS, and I beat those games because they were great. I beat Final Fantasy 7 whenever I was able to play it on the PSN, and I managed to beat that and the re-released version on the PS4 with all the trophies and shit like that. So, I touched 8 very briefly, I touched 9 quite briefly, and I played a bit of 1 and 2 on the PSP.
Pained as well.
Cutscene time.
What you doing out here?
I was just thinking about what my brother said.
Somehow Titus makes a pop collar look even more douchey than it already is. Like, because he's rocking the open shirt thing, and his collar has like little rips, and it's... Oh, God. Ugh. And it's got a little bell on it too. Like, what the fuck?
Yes. When I think about the risks my brother must have taken to come see me,
Save it, Cecil. You want to see him. That's all that counts.
But Furion was concerned that...
Who cares what Furion says?
But he's voiced by Johnny Young Bosch.
Let me worry about Furion, okay? Just hurry up and go already.
Truly? Are you sure?
Okay, Cecil, I know you're excited to see your brother, and Titus is kind of making a halfway decent point. Sort of. Sort of being the key word. But do you really want to take family advice from this guy? The guy with the mother of all daddy issues, who constantly bitches about it, and never shuts the fuck up about it. Seriously, you want to take advice from this lederhosen wearing spaz? I mean, okay, sure. Everyone keeps leaving this fucking party. What is the deal? First it's Cloud, now it's Cecil. Always gotta talk to the Moogle to see if it has any unique dialogue. Sometimes it has unique dialogue, sometimes it doesn't. I guess the Moogle doesn't know what to say to the Dark Knight. Yeah, I know Dark Knights are kind of like the edgelords in Final Fantasy, but I really just like their weapons, their armor, and I really like their techniques. It's basically, you know what? I want to hurt you bad, and I'm willing to lose a little bit of health to make my point. It's great. Like, pair up a Dark Knight with a White Mage, you're good to go. Which is why I'm so pissed that in Final Fantasy A2, they essentially give the Dark Knight-style job to the frickin' Seek. Which, if you don't know what the Seek are, in Ivalice, those are the pigmen from Final Fantasy XII. And I mean, like, it doesn't look cool. I don't like the Seek. They're gross pigmen. And I like a lot of the races from Ivalice. Like, I like the Banga, I like the Viera. I even think the Numu are kinda okay. They're cute, they're like little wizards. They even had those cool, like, dragon girls from A2. But the Seek are just gross pig people. Like, I appreciate they beat the shit out of Vaughn whenever they first show up. I appreciate that. But, I don't know. Which is why I like the Dark Knights in War of the Lions. Like, those look like proper Dark Knights. They're cool. But it's a job you have to work really hard for, but it's so satisfying when you finally get it. I kind of bought Final Fantasy XIV just because I wanted to get the Dark Knight class. And then I realized I had to beat the whole fucking game, so, well, too bad. I guess I'm never gonna get Dark Knight or Samurai. Oh well. Like, if you enjoy Final Fantasy XIV, good for you. I hope you have fun with it. But I don't know, it just seems like way too much of a time sink for me. And honestly, I could just play one of the other Final Fantasy games that have Dark Knights in them. Like, I could just play War of the Lions if I want to get my Dark Knight fix. Or I could play as Cecil in Dissidia. Whatever.
I am pained as well. Go push yourself. Darkness, be with me. Dark wave. I am pained as well.
So you've come, Cecil.
Their armor matches. Like,
Tell me the
could it
secret
be
of the
any more
crystal.
obvious that these two are
Have
brothers?
you come all this way? Most likely for the same reason. A brother cares for his kin. Cecil, I am here to gauge whether or not you are worthy of obtaining the crystal.
His voice is just so
Worthy.
soothing. I'm looking up this guy's voice actor. I want to know what else he's been in. Oh, great. Here comes the party crasher.
Wandering in the dark. Or is this what they mean by brotherly love?
X-Death. Fucking go find Bart. That's your opponent.
Go Bez.
Anyway, Peter Beckman. Oh, he's the voice of Zangief in Street Fighter.
Longing for the light.
And he's the voice of Gileath Osborne in Trails of Cold Steel.
Contrary, feeble mortal.
So he gets typecast as a lot of really big dudes.
Shall punish those who
Good for him.
betray us.
I won't let you lay a finger on him.
Cecil,
I don't know if you'll deem me worthy, but at least I can show you my strength.
So you would willingly defend a traitor.
Well, if he's a traitor of chaos, and that makes him a good guy, right?
The both of you. You and your ignorance shall return to the void.
Okay, X-Death, remember the last time you fought someone from Final Fantasy IV? Remember how well that turned out for you? Not very great. Because Kane kicked your ass. Like, super hard. And now you're about to get your ass kicked by Cecil.
You are being deceived.
You will not punish my brother. Darkness, be with me. Beneath the light.
Oh, Almagast is pretty good, I have to say.
Beneath the
And so is Grand Cross. But he's not getting any more hits on now. Down he goes. Go find Bart's, X-Death. My god. Pick on someone from your own game. Damn.
I am pained as well. My brother is not the same as you.
There is no difference. Light and dark have the same root.
Honestly, Cecil's chapter may as well just be featured in Kingdom Hearts, with as many times as they're going to bring up light and dark.
why has the crystal not appeared?
What's wrong?
You took on X-Death yourself without depending on my aid. You've shown you have the ability to achieve what you desire. The crystal shines upon those who exhibit the strongest will.
But X-Death wasn't a villain from Final Fantasy IV, Golbez.
Seeing
You
as
were.
you are now, I thought you would be able to obtain it.
I only fought him for you.
It's kind of hard to have these characters emote when they're wearing full mast helmets.
I must tell my friends what you just told me. They too seek their own crystals. Once the crystals are gathered, the battle will be over. Then you and we could...
Enough! I am merely your shadow. I could not accept the darkness, yet I do not belong to the light.
What?
You disappoint me, Cecil.
Aw.
Like this, you will not receive the crystal's eternal light.
Aw, Golbez. Come on. Isn't it nice that your brother has friends? Oh yeah. Golbez is like Kane. They both realize, oh shit, what about Cecil's memory? He doesn't remember that both of us were huge assholes. Oh, but of course, Golbez is talking with Jack. Thanks, Yuna! At the very least, the two coolest guys from Chaos are buddies. More or less. They both have family issues. They both have family members on the other side. You know, I keep bitching about Yuna letting Jack get kidnapped by the Emperor, but honestly, Jack's default design for Team Chaos is pretty fucking cool. Like, his left arm is basically just sin. Like the giant whale monster from Final Fantasy X? Yeah, that's just his left arm. It's got all this, like, spikes and crap on it. It's great. It really sells the impact of whenever he punches a motherfucker with it. How is that wrong? That's like totally what a hero does. You want to do something for someone besides yourself. That's what a hero is. Like, what is the deal here? Like, I kind of get where Golbez is coming from. He thinks Cecil is all about, like, oh, you're too dependent on your friends. You can't do anything on your own without the help from your friends. But I don't think that's what Cecil's getting at. I think he's just like, hey, I just want to help my friends. Like, they're not carrying me. We're working as a team.
I should return to my friends, but... Brother! You came!
To set you on the proper path.
What?
You cling to the skirts of your companions.
I don't think he's clinging. I think he just wants to work as equals.
The crystal will never shine on those who always depend on others.
Again, he doesn't depend on others. He kicked X-Def's ass by himself. You were there.
But I cannot abandon my friends if they are in need. All I want is for us to look for our crystals together.
See? That's all he's saying. Like, just as equals, as teammates. Oh, Golbez, why?
Now do you see? The bonds between people are unreliably fragile.
But you did that to him.
Is nothing but
That wasn't because of Furion or Titus. That was because you zapped him. Are you saying that because you're his brother?
Brother.
My goodness. Cecil cannot catch a break, can he? Cecil's all about teamwork. He's trying to be a nice guy and he's trying to work with everybody. And yet, somehow, he gets freaking penalized for it. Even though he's won all his fights solo. I don't even know what his words mean. I agree! The fuck? I haven't actually talked about Cecil's fighting style yet. I've only just been going on about, like, the story and the other Final Fantasy games. But yeah, I dig Cecil's fighting style. I think it's freaking rad. Like, I like the Dark Knight moves. Like, Shadowbringer, that move is awesome. Look at it. He just wrecks a dude. It's really good whenever you use, like, those darkness orbs to, like, pull in opponents close. Like, you shoot them off, and then you pull them in, and then you just hit them with Soul Eater. Oh, it's great. Like, it was so disappointing in Final Fantasy IV. You get a little taste of Cecil's, like, Dark Knight combat style in the beginning of the game. In the DS remake, his move Darkness just improved his attack strength, but he, like, lost a little bit of health from using it. It's great. And it looked cool. And I mean, I like his paladin design, but I kind of wish that FF4 did the whole class change thing for Cecil like they did here in Dissidia. Like, that would have been awesome. You'd have one character who would just have access to 2 different fighting styles. Granted, I would probably just use nothing but Dark Knight, but, you know, whatever. I get it's like a whole story thing of, like, he needs to overcome his darkness and yada yada yada. But yeah, here's the thing. In Final Fantasy IV, when Cecil first starts off as a Dark Knight, he's not an asshole like you'd think. Like, you'd think someone with the title of Dark Knight would just be like this huge, evil, arrogant asshole, or he'd be like this huge edgelord who'd just be constantly brooding about pain and whatnot. But no, like, Cecil's thoughtful and is honestly, like, thinking, am I really doing the right thing? Like, he was never a dick. He just had the power of darkness. That's all. But, you know, when he became a paladin, that was cool. So, because he got white magic. So that was alright.
Still confused?
Cosmos. I'm not sure of anything anymore. Not once did I doubt that we could find the crystals by working together. In fact, I believed cooperation to be the only way. But my brother, Golbez, says that I must seek the crystal alone. Have I been naive to think we could work together? Is the bond I have with my friends really only an illusion?
Do you look to me for answers?
Huh?
The crystal does not shine on those who only depend on others.
He's not depending on... Well, wait. Well, then what the fuck was the point of making a team, Cosmos? You work together as a team. Is the idea of cooperation just so freaking taboo right now? Like, why is the idea of teamwork, like, just shunned in this chapter?
What you seek lies near.
What?
You already know in your heart. To depend on others and to work together with others. Are they the same things to you?
Okay, see, I appreciate what Cosmos is saying, but the thing is, I don't think Cecil was depending on Titus and Firion. I think he was working together with them.
The answer can be found inside you.
Okay, bye, Cosmos. Like, that's the thing. I don't think Cecil was, like, outright depending on Titus and Firion to, like, carry him through the journey. I think he was working together with them as equals. You know, like a team. Like, I don't think Cecil at any point gave off the impression that he was highly dependent on his teammates. He was working together with them because they're his friends. Am I wrong? Did I miss something? Whatever. So now Cecil's answer is that he needs to go kick his brother's ass. That's all he needed to do. So wait, honestly, what I'm just taking away from this is, if you just fight your respective villain, you get a crystal. If you beat them up hard enough, you get a crystal. That doesn't seem too hard to comprehend. Just fight your brother. Fight your respective chaos-aligned opponent. That's it. Like, with Duodecim, yeah, that would have been fucking confusing. Because first off, there was no equivalent villain for Yuna, Jacked, and Lightning. There was no equivalent for those three. The only Warriors of Cosmos who would have had an opponent on the side of Chaos, you know, to get a crystal from, would have been friggin' Kain, Tifa, Laguna, and Vaughn. And honestly, I'm not too sure about Vaughn, to be quite honest with you, because Gabranth does not show up in Duodecim. Not in the main story, at least. And furthermore, like, would Golbez really count for Kain? And I don't know if, like, Tifa and Sephiroth would match up very well. The same goes for Laguna and Ultimecia. And that's another thing I gotta bring up. what's the deal with Laguna and Squall? Like, they both oppose Ultimecia, so wait, if one fights Ultimecia and beats her, does the other one not get a crystal? Oh well, the Duodecim cast are gone, so it's not a problem anymore, I guess. Whew, dodged a bullet on that one.
Don't push yourself. Darkness, be with me! Darkness, bring up I am pained as well.
Cutscene time!
There is a different air about you. You seem to have made a decision.
Yes, I will return to my friends.
What?
Like, what did you think just zapping him would do? Like, you're right, brother. I will totally forsake my friends. That's the only way I'll get my crystal.
Give me strength. They encourage and support me. I travel with them, so that I can aid them as they have aided me.
Thank you. That's all you had to say.
Can only be born in the presence of my friends. That's
See?
why. This is what
Power
I
of friendship.
It looks as though our differences are irreconcilable.
Brother,
Cecil just appreciates
You
teamwork.
are a knight.
What's wrong about
There is
that?
such determination behind your thoughts. Prove it with your blade, my brother.
Now it's time for the high-quality cutscene.
it's because
Now
I
he
have
finally
friends
turns into a paladin.
fight.
About time.
Both light and darkness. Give me the guidance I need.
Also, Cecil can just fly, I guess. Oh, and they're playing Battle of the Four Fiends! I love this track! It's great! I also like the Headen version of it. It's really good.
Darkness. Into hallowed light. Behold!
I get Cecil is from the moon, but, like, does that really translate to him being able to fly?
You're naive, Cecil.
Well, I guess they're on the moon right now, but whatever.
Even knowing betrayal and despair, you would depend on the whims of others?
I swear on this blade, I will not be dissuaded.
But wait, Cecil, I get you're trying to prove teamwork, but you're doing this solo, so does that really prove that you're working with a team? And also, Golbez has an assist! Okay, Golbez is trying to say, oh, teamwork's stupid. Cecil's like, no, teamwork's great. And yet, Cecil goes in solo and Golbez has a mannequin assisting him. The fucking irony is stifling.
Cleansing light.
And down Golbez goes. Teamwork, motherfucker!
I am pained as well.
I see the strength of which you spoke.
The crystal. This is ours, brother. We found this light together.
After I kicked your ass.
Spare me the falderall. You found that on your own.
But
This is only the beginning. Do your eyes see as far as the light shines?
Everybody has to speak in like vague riddles and then just teleport away.
brother,
I guess that's just a reoccurring trend in Final Fantasy.
no matter the hardship, I'll face it head on, together with my friends. And someday, with you as well.
Aww. Well, good news, Cecil. You get to team up with your brother in Final Fantasy IV: The After Years.
My guiding light.
If that's any consolation. I played a little bit of the After Years,
will
and
not waver.
I prefer the original game. Yeah, of course, X-Death and the Emperor are friggin', like, chit-chattering away. So wait, if Golbez's inner light never faded, shouldn't that worry the Emperor? Like a little bit? You freaking have Jecht on your team, asshole! Like, Golbez apparently had the body of darkness, but with a heart of light. Well, Jecht had a body of light and a heart of light. Only you just kind of, like, fucked with his memories.
Battle,
So shouldn't that worry you?
mother, light finally shines on the gentle knight. Whatever trials and tribulations he may face, the belief in the bond he has with his friends shall never fade.
So once again, the moral of the story is friendship always wins. Yay, it is just like Kingdom Hearts. Light, darkness, power, friendship. Yeah, you know.
That he and his friends might overcome this adversity. And that someday he might walk alongside his brother again.
Alright, well, that'll do it for this update. In the next update, oh boy, it's Titus's chapter! Yay! But hey, on the bright side, at least we get to see Jecht. So that's cool. Alright, so until then, thank you so much for watching, and I will catch you in the next update. Until then, see ya.